Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
From here on out, we got to win at home. I mean, we got to win out at home. That's the goal. And then we got still one or two on the road, and that's not easy in our league, as you know. And we go to Haven and we go to Hillsboro.
UCF ball. They got a chance to win it right here. Perhaps Hall ran into KJ. Adam Steele throws it up ahead. We get a stoppage with 4 seconds left. It will not be deja vu all over again for Kansas.
When we have a guy down, we always expect somebody to step up. Thankfully, we got KJ back there. He was huge for us. And then obviously our guards, you know, we definitely need to do a better job of taking care of the basketball.
I thought this would be the hardest game, as hard a game as we've had when I got down the shooting room today. And I realized that I'm not going to play. So it was a great win. For the most part, I thought.
It wasn't just that we beat Garden City, it was the wave that we beat them. It was fairly dominant win. I don't know, 9 points at halftime. I felt like it was pretty dominant.
He's the greatest acquisition in the history of the city. It might have been Moses Malone back in the day that brought the Sixers a championship, but Saquon has them all beat.
Chiefs. Spags, he always has a crazy third down report, exotic blitz like you saw last week. They brought the corner, a blitz they hadn't shown.
This was risky. This is risky. But by the same token, how often can you take a risk when someone has had almost 30 years of being around coaches, of being around players? That's 2/3 of his life. And then the rest of it growing up in a football-oriented, NFL-oriented family, if you will. I think this might make something special.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM, the talk of the town. Welcome in Wednesday Sports Day show. Steve Webster riding solo today here in the Mayo Money Management studio. Mike Corson on assignment today. Our studio engineer, Landon Winkler's here, though. So I guess you fill in whenever we need something today, Landon. We don't have a on the prowl today, so you won't be able to belt that out. But Landon's running the video stream for us today, making sure the show runs smoothly. Okay, on the program, I'm looking forward to the show today. We're going to talk Great Bend Lady Panther basketball. They lost their game last night at TMP. Just like everybody else in town, I think Jade Winter's under the weather today, fighting that flu bug that's going around. But we will still have a couple players with us. Shayla Prendergast will be in, sophomore, and junior Catherine Mazook, so we'll talk to them. Looking forward to talking to my good friend Curtis Hammocky. 21 years at Fort Hays State as the athletic director. Really 30 years of his career have been spent at Fort Hays as a coach and an administrator. We're going to check in with Curtis today and talk about a career that I'm going to ask him what he's going to do. I guess he's probably been asked that many times. And we do have kind of a black and gold flair on the show today as it's Wednesday, so we will bring in the voice of the Fort Hays State Tigers, Gerard Welbrock. Probably talk about Curtis a little bit, what it was like to work under Curtis Hammocky. So there's your show today, but we'll get started with our sounds of the past 24 hours or so. And we'll begin with Kyle Haxton, whose Hoisington Cardinals won again last night. They beat Phillipsburg 55-36, just kept pulling away gradually throughout the game. It was their fourth straight victory. They're now 7-6 on the season. They've got a tough schedule, though, that's still to go. They have Hillsboro. Of course, they have to play Haven. Both those games will be on the road, but Kyle looking down the stretch, hoping to get that record up good enough where they could host a first-round sub-state game coming up in late February or early March. And the girls' game, Lady Cardinals never could get their offense going. They end up falling 39-21. So the Cardinals get a week off now. So they had to go in the Winter Jam. They played last night, but they didn't have to go to Phillipsburg. Phillipsburg had to come down here, so it was the year the Cardinals got to stay home. But they've got a week off now, so welcome relief and some rest for the Hoisington Cardinals. Other high school last night, the Great Bend Panthers win at Al Bellinger Fieldhouse over the TMP Monarchs in the boys' game, 68-41. Panthers ranked fourth in the state in the new poll that came out yesterday. They scored the first 13 points of the game, led 25-9 at the end of the first quarter, never threatened. They won their ninth straight game. They're 12-1 on the season. Ian Premer, well, he had his 11th double-double last night, 13 games. by scoring a team-high 25 points. 19 of those came in the first half. Ben Nicholson added 15 more. Jacob Hall had 2 threes. He ended the night with 12. The girls' game, Lady Panthers, always in striking distance last night. TMP would get up by 8. Great Bend would cut it down and be 3 or 4, but they couldn't get any closer than that. And Lady Panthers lose 41-32. Alyssa McCauley, 3 3-pointers in the game. She led the way with 9 points. Lady Panthers now 4-9 on the season. And look out, they get maybe one of the best Hayes High girls teams that they've ever had there. They are 12-0. Was watching a little bit of their game against Wellington this morning. And Wellington is really, really good. And Hayes beat them 74-72 in the championship game of the Orange and Black Classic. So we'll talk about that. Other high school basketball last night, kind of a limited schedule in the Central Prairie League. Dighton boys defeated Otis Bison 47-18. Ellenwood knocked off Ness City 68-39. And the other score we had was Ellis over Victoria 46-43. On the girls' side, Dighton a 44-26 winner over Otis Bison. And it was Attica beating Kinsley 52-22. And it was Ellis beating the Victoria girls 54-39. All right, the call last night on ESPN Plus, Kansas hangs on to beat UCF 91-87. And on that call, they had a chance to win the game in the closing seconds. Couldn't get a shot away. Collision underneath. KU got the basketball, and then Zeke Mayo hit a couple big free throws. Kansas hangs on to avoid losing back-to-back home games. That would have been the first time since they were coached by Roy Williams nearly 36 years ago. But they do win. They played without point guard DeJuan Harris, who tweaked his ankle in practice, and that was the first time in nearly 5 years KU had not had DeJuan Harris in the lineup. Bill Self talking about that after the win. And, of course, you heard Zeke Mayo talking about playing a man down as well. KU plays at Baylor on Saturday. K-State tonight looking for their second straight win. The Cats will host Oklahoma State at Bramlage. It will be a 7 o'clock tip on the CBS Sports Network. Other games in the Big 12 last night, BYU knocked off the Baylor Bears, 93-89. Arizona State over Colorado, 70-68. And Utah beat Cincinnati 69-66. We mentioned K-State at home tonight. Houston is on the road. They are at West Virginia. TCU is at Texas Tech. Your updated standings: Houston is 8-0, Arizona 8-1. You have Iowa State 7-2, Texas Tech 6-2. There's Kansas in fifth place at 6-3. BYU and Baylor tied at 5-4. Kansas State just 2-6 in league play, but they're taking on an Oklahoma State team that's also only 2-6 in league play, and 10-9 overall. The Cats are 8-11 overall. Alan Clark talking about what he called a dominant win over Garden City on Saturday. Lady Cougars, they need to keep it going. They've got 2 big games this week against 2 other teams that are kind of in the middle of the pack of the Jayhawk Conference. The Cougars are trying to get there right now, as they will take on Cloud County tonight at the Kirkman Center. And we'll have that game for you. Cole Reif will have the call on B1043 The Point. The doubleheader begins at 5:15 with the pregame show. The Barton men trying to stay in the hunt for a regular season championship. They'll take on the 10-10 T-Birds, who are just 4-10 in league play. Cougars moving back into the top 25 yesterday at number 22. They are 4th in the league standings, 10-4, 16-4 overall. Okay, hometown announcers. Anthony Gargano is a sports talk host in Philadelphia, saying the acquisition of former New York Giants running back Saquon Barkley is the best sports acquisition in Philadelphia sports history. Yeah, Barkley brings a little bit of different look to that Eagles team that the Chiefs outscored a couple years ago 38-35 in the Super Bowl, and he is a big play threat. Man, when you can get that from your running back, I was talking about throwing an 80-yard bomb. How about if you just, like on 2nd down and 1 from your own 23, the guy can take it to the house. That's what they have, 2,000-yard rusher in Saquon Barkley. What about defenses in Super Bowl 59? That was 3-time Super Bowl champion Julian Edelman. He was asked what defense he would be more fearful of in the big game in New Orleans, and he said, yeah, KC. It's because of Steve Spagnuolo and the different looks that he has, and he'll save some of these blitzes that no one has seen before. And that fourth down and 6 play against Buffalo that ended the game. Chiefs still had to pick up a first down, but that was a blitz, a corner blitz that they had not used the entire game. So Joey Settleman says, yeah, he'll take the Chiefs defense, although that Eagles defense is very, very good. Chiefs early 1.5-point favorites to win the Super Bowl, according to BetMGM Sportsbook. And finally, Jerry Jones asked at his press conference Monday if hiring a coach with no head coaching experience was a risk. He said no. Brian Schottenheimer's grown up around the game. His pop was a pretty good football coach in Marty Schottenheimer. So he's going to roll it, and he's been getting a lot of criticism for that. I don't know who else you get. I mean, the guy McCarthy, everyone wanted him out. Now he's out, and he's not going to coach again this year anyway. He announced that yesterday. So there you go. Sounds the past 24 hours or so. Some local sports headlines. Great Bend Panther Wrestling in action last night. At home, it was senior night. And the Garden City Buffaloes were in town, and their boys and girls wrestling teams are pretty good. Garden City beating the Panther boys 61-14 in their dual match. Junior Trent Kern got the biggest win of the night for the Panthers at 2:15. Trent ranked 4th in 5A, and he was able to pin second-ranked David Holguin midway through the third period. Kern dominated the match throughout. He led 12-3 after 2 periods, and including an open match at 106, Garden City scored the first 24 points of the evening before Hayden Lyles was able to win a 10-3 decision at 132. The Lady Panthers, they're ranked 7th in Class 5A, hosting Garden City, who's not only ranked in 6A, but Garden City girls are ranked 28th in the country. And the Lady Buffs cruising to a 64-18 dual win last night. Now, there were some highlights. Second-ranked Camden Post avenged an earlier loss to third-ranked Kara Acosta at 105. One of the premier matches on the night. It was also one of the longest, with Post getting the pin 38 seconds into the third period. Now, we didn't have to wait long at 170, where Kira Stevens at 190 needed 16 seconds to pin her opponent. Tara Newton picked up the other 6 points. She pinned her 145-pound opponent midway through the second period. Another marquee match on the girls' side took place at 125, where Great Bend freshman Micah Elligood nearly defeated two-time defending champion Maya Tarbett at the Christmas Clash in December. Tarbett ranked number 1 at 130, needed all 3 periods to beat Brooklyn Kelly 13-0. Things not much easier for Elligood at 125. She was pinned in the first period by top-ranked Crystal Loera. And Panther bowling was in action on Monday at the Walnut Bowl with Hayes and McPherson in town. The Lady Panthers beat Hayes by nearly 800 pins, took all 13 Western Athletic Conference points. McPherson finished 135 pins behind Hayes. Panther boys took 9 of 13 WAC points against Hayes, defeated the Indians by 80 points. McPherson finished just 46 pins behind Hayes on a competitive afternoon. Okay, we're going to take a break. We're going to be talking with a couple Great Bend Lady Panthers, Shayla Prendergast and junior Catherine Mazook. Also, Curtis Hammocky coming up on the show, and the voice of the Florida State Tigers, Gerard Welbrock. We have a black and gold flair to the program today that's brought to you by the American Plains Co-op Bulk Fuel Department, where they feature number 2 clear diesel, bulk fuel, E10, fuel delivery, all your lubricants and fuel supplies. Freedom Claims Management, innovative healthcare plans for your business. Let them take care of everything for you from start to finish, and continued support. They have you covered. And by Equity Bank, where they add value for their customers and communities. Equity Bank in Great Bend, Hoisington, and Larned. Find out more. Just go to equitybank.com. Wednesday Sports Day rolling on KVGB.
Sini Doors, this is Cindy.
Me, Mom. I passed my math test.
Great job, Hadley. I knew counting all those parts in our huge inventory would help out.
Don't forget about the springs.
That's right. We have the most in-stock springs of anyone in western Kansas.
Well, I don't know if our inventory is making me smarter or just giving me a headache.
garage doors, service, and repairs at C. Andy Doors in Great Bend and Hayes.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Dr. Nels here, Animal Medical Center, and today we want to give a shout out to all the supporting cast at these basketball games. We have some great young men and young women on the court, but we also have some great young men and women playing their instruments, cheering, dancing, all those things. Let's clap for them. When they perform and get done, let's show them a round of applause, show them some love as well, because they deserve it. Dr. Nels here, Animal Medical Center, large or small, we take care of them all.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec.
Sports, leisure, fitness and wellness, even senior and adaptive needs. It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Pick up a program guide or stop by the rec office at 1214 Stone in Great Bend. Or check out the website, greatbendrec.com. Live, play, explore at the rec.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Live, play, explore at the rec.
It's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Welcome back, Sports Day here on KVGB. Our show brought to you today by the Barton Cougar Booster Club. Continue their efforts to make the Barton Athletic Department the best in the country. C&E Doors, your full-service garage door company. Follow the orange signs south of 10th and Harrison in Great Bend. And also Eller Automotive Repair, where they specialize in wheel alignments, oil changes, and general maintenance for all makes and models of cars and small trucks. Jade Winter is out today, the head coach of the Great Bend Lady Panthers, so she's feeling under the weather. 2 of the healthier Lady Panthers are in here today, Shayla Prendergast along with Catherine Mazook. Guys, thanks for coming in. This is a perfect opportunity to show coaches why they don't, if you don't show up and you let your players, let us know what's really going on. Thanks for coming in here today. Catherine, last night, I told Jade this, and she looked at me like I was crazy after the game. I thought you guys played good last night. The shots weren't falling, but as far as, I don't know, what do you think?
I thought we played pretty well as well. I think we need to clean up our passes. We had a few more turnovers than we would like. Our shots didn't fall as well as we hoped, but I thought we played pretty well as a team. Cassie was back, so that was good. We also were missing Alex Mayers.
Yes.
Which is also a key part of our offense and defense as well. So I think once we get our girls back from our sickness, I think we'll be better.
It looked like, as far as running plays in the half court, talk about the execution. It seemed like that was as good as it's been all year. I mean, as far as running the offense last night.
Yes. I think at the Salina tournament, we improved a lot better on our offense. TMP had a lot of pressure, especially on our guards, Alyssa McCauley, Jillian Reimer. They had a lot of pressure on them. So that was a little bit of a challenge. But I thought that, recently, our offense has been a lot better than it had been come the first game of the season.
Shayla, I'm glad you came in here today because it seemed like a flower that bloomed in Salina last week. He got 11 in that game against Abilene. The team scored 40. Then he came back with 15 against Junction City. Didn't repeat the performance last night. But talk about your newfound offensive, I guess, philosophy that you've got going right now.
So a lot of it, I think, is at practice and stuff, like getting to go up against Cassie, Deshana, Maddie, a lot of my other teammates pressuring me and stuff has helped me be able to know what I need to do when I get the ball. Because, let's say, in middle school and stuff,
yeah,
I would just kind of stand there with my arm up in the air. But now I've kind of learned, that I need to, do post moves and stuff. And a lot of that is because of doing, 2-on-2s or 1-on-1s.
But one thing, who has talked to you about, you catch the ball inside, and I've seen so many other players, they bring it down or they have to dribble it twice. You just turn and bombs away. I mean, which is something that's been effective. I mean, is that something that you've learned more as the season's gone on?
Yeah. So a lot of like our coaches and stuff, we sometimes split into like posts and guards and stuff, and so it's easy for me to get some one-on-one time against the defense, knowing what to do, and Davis helps us learn different post moves and stuff, and so I found that something that I'm really good at is just kind of turning and looping it up there.
And you like using the glass?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. That's a very handy thing. Catherine, your shot last night, just keep bombing away. I mean, you got some good looks as well.
Yes. Keep shooting is the motto that we have. I mean, not every shot's gonna go in, but you're gonna miss every shot you don't take. So I'm gonna keep shooting.
Shayla, how's Cassie helped you on the
Cassie's
inside?
helped a lot. Like, she's very aggressive.
Yes, she is. Yes.
On defense, like, when I'm going against her, like, I know, like, it's helps me improve my defensive work going against her because she's very aggressive with the ball. She goes hard no matter what she's doing. And so it helps me a lot offense and defense-wise. And she's just a very supportive leader of the team.
Are you 6'1", 6 foot, or 6'2"?
So, I'm, according to my physical, I'm 6 foot.
Okay, well, we'll keep calling you 6'1".
Okay.
But talk about. It seems like you're blocking out better too, instead of just thinking about, okay, I'm 6 foot, I'm going to get this rebound.
Yeah, because, like, you know, when we played Salina South and stuff, like Peyton Fritz, 6'3", you can't just expect to stand there and get the ball. So a lot of that is also working against and going against the other posts at practice and stuff. We, as a team, we have all, like, decided that we really need to work on our boxing out and stuff. So that's just been a thing that we've all been working to improve on.
Okay, the TMP game last night, you were in it the entire way, just couldn't get over the hump. We get it to 3, we get it to 4, and they were able to pull out. And now it's going to be Hayes coming in, and they're pretty good. I mean, what are you thinking about this game, Catherine, coming up tomorrow night? I mean, on Friday night.
I mean, going in, it's the next team. That's the mentality. Every team has their challenges. Every team has their strengths and their weaknesses, and I think we are just going to try to bring our motivation and momentum from the Salina tournament, especially the Abilene and Junction game when we had a lot of improvement. We just need to find our fire again, especially after the loss last night. We need to find it, play together, and I think if we play together, that we should be okay.
Okay, Shayla, what are you thinking about this matchup coming up Friday?
So I think that we have a lot of stuff to improve on, and I'm pretty, like, our practice day is probably going to be pretty tough to, like, get ready for this game. I think that, like, the Hayes Great Bend kind of clash there, so I think
I like it, the clash. The clash. Well put.
That could kind of boost our morale and stuff and get, like, a fire going in us, and I think that if we work on our improvements and we just keep going and try our best, that we have a shot.
I've seen you play every game, one this year, so I've seen the improvement. I've got my thoughts, but Shayla, where do you think this team's improved the most since the start of the season?
I think that our defense has improved a lot. Like, we continue to work on our 1-3-1, and we work on our man and boxing out and everything. I think our offense has also improved a lot because we're actually running plays. We're making smarter passes. We're looking inside instead of just dribbling around, I think. And, like, we're just a very positive team. And, like, everyone always has something to improve on, and we all know that. And just helping your teammates out and being able to, like, help them improve on that is very good.
Top that, Catherine.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's not much I can do to top that. She kind of covered everything. But I would say the way we play as a team, I mean, coming out against Salina South, our first game, a lot of us haven't played together. A lot of us are pretty young. But I think the way that we play together, we trust each other more with our passes, with our shots, knowing each other's strengths and weaknesses, getting people out in tough situations. We just play as a team better, I think.
Okay, this is perfect that you're in here today because many times there are two Mazooks on the floor.
Yes.
Now, Meredith it's a longer name. Catherine's a longer name. So it goes, Meredith Mazook to Catherine. So is there a term that I could use? And I'm just going to throw this out. Not that's it. Frick and frack. Okay. How could I identify you that, it wouldn't be Meredith or it wouldn't be you? I mean, you guys have any nicknames that can help the play-by-play guy out here a little bit?
I would say we do have we have shortened names. Like we go by I go by Kat.
Okay.
So you can call me Kat Mazook.
Okay.
That's perfectly
Okay.
fine. She goes by Mare. So if
Okay,
that's
so
not
I
as
can-
easy, you can shorten them.
So I could go Mare to Cat.
Yes,
And
that's-
Cat to Mare.
That would be great.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
And another important question, because you are in all of 5A basketball, you're the best lawnmower I've ever seen, okay? Because I've seen you in action across the street at your grandpa's. How much advice does he give you? When he's not talking about his stinking Cowboys, okay?
I would say he's very supportive of everything that I do. I very much appreciate all of his support. He's at every game. He always has something to say, whether it be positive or a little negative, just to give me some fire. But he always is supportive. He likes to tell me to shoot more. But, I mean...
All grandpas say that.
Yeah, they do.
All
but
grandpas say
he
that.
is very supportive. And so are my other grandparents as well. They're always there. And so I'm very much appreciative of them.
Okay. Yeah, well, he's a great neighbor as well. You should be very proud of your grandpa. So, does that work for you, Shayla? I mean, Mare and Cat to Mare?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't call him anything else
No.
that maybe we haven't mentioned today? Okay. I think you guys filled in very nicely on the program today. Thanks for coming in, and go back to school. You guys have missed a lot of school here the last few
I
days.
know.
So thanks for coming in today, guys.
Thank you.
Catherine Mazook is Cat Mazook. Mayor not here today, and Shayla Prendergast here on Sports Day. We'll talk with Fort Hays State Athletic Director Curtis Hammocky. He is retiring, the Great Bend native. We'll talk to Curtis coming up after this on Sports Day.
From the Mayo Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB, Great Bend, and 95.5 FM K238CK, Hoisington.
If you're needing a healthcare plan for your business, let the experienced and dedicated staff at Freedom Claims Management Incorporated customize a health insurance plan that fits your business's need. Regardless if you're a large corporation or a small business on Main Street, Freedom Claims Management Incorporated can help you provide your employees with great health coverage at an affordable cost. Visit freedomclaimsinc.com where you can schedule a free, no obligation health assessment today. Freedom Claims Management Incorporated in Great Bend.
Barton Community College's natural gas program gives you the skills and training you need to succeed. Current student Easton chose Barton to get him ready for the field.
I chose natural gas because I saw all the different type of hands-on work that they do. The technology is top-notch. Instructors are very knowledgeable of everything. Anybody interested in a career in natural gas, I really encourage them to come here to Barton. My name is Easton Juneau, and I'm a Barton Cougar.
Learn more at naturalgas.bartoncc.edu.
When you run a fleet business, delay is a dirty word. What fuels me to stay on schedule? My clients, their clients, and everyone's bottom line. What fuels my fleet? Cenex Roadmaster XL, a premium diesel fuel formulated with its best additive package yet to clean the entire fuel system for more power, less maintenance, and better fuel economy. Cenex Roadmaster XL, fueled by innovation, powered to perform.
Contact American Plains Co-op Fuel Department in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor.
Hey everyone, this is Cole Wright, voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Boosters help with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
Now, in its second decade, it's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Sports Day also brought to you by the Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street in Great Bend and by Great Bend Rec, dedicated to improving our community and the lives of its individuals. Joining us now, Athletic Director at Fort Hays State University, Great Bend native, Curtis Hammocky, a guy that I am honored to say that he's my friend. I don't know what he calls me, but wow. Congratulations, Curtis. Big announcement last week that after 21 years leading the athletic program at Fort Hays State, in June you're going to do something else.
Yeah, well, thanks, Steve. First of all, I would call you my friend as well.
Okay.
Go way back, and so appreciate you taking the time to through the years to spend time with me. But yeah, we're a big decision, but who never knows if there's a right time for such a thing. You know, we love Fort Hays State. It's been our whole life. So, but I think it's time to move toward a new chapter in our lives.
Curtis, I mean, this is one with life just unfolds before you. You kind of know which road you want to take here, but could you even have imagined of what you've been able to accomplish and all the things you've done when you were Mike Warren's assistant baseball coach at SID, bringing me a hot dog in the press box back in 1989, man?
Never could have imagined, but you know, there's so many people that made all these things happen that certainly most of which credit goes elsewhere. So yeah, it's been a really fun ride and involved with a lot of wonderful people. So everything from our staff to our community and Great Bend and in Hays, you know, over the years, just so many good people to help things get accomplished.
Is Annette excited?
I think she is. Yeah, I'm not sure if she's worried about me being underfoot or not, but you know, yeah, I think it's going to be exciting for us to be able to spend a little more time together. And, you know, speaking of her, just, you know, through this entire process of my entire career, she's certainly been my go-to. And without her, you know, it's just pretty hard to spend a life in athletics without a wife like that.
Curtis, this isn't something you just wake up and you go into the office and say, well, you know, I think I'm done. This is going to be the day. How long have you been thinking about this?
Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, it's come across my mind a few things. You know, things have really changed in recent years, I guess, with it seems like ever since COVID, things have just been a little more challenging. And during that time frame, just getting things back on the right direction again, which has happened. But then now you come in how the landscape has just really evolved with the NILs and the portals and all these things that have transpired, and it's just a different world now, and probably good for somebody younger with tremendous amount of energy to take on.
A lot of wonderful things have happened at Fort Hays State Athletic Department over the years. I think a lot of it comes from the continuity of their athletic director. We've had two since 1988 now. That's a pretty good run.
Yeah, I'd say that's about right. I can still remember Tom getting a voicemail from Tom Spicer there in about, I guess it was 2004, saying that he was leaving Fort Hays and that he was planning on recommending me for this job. And then I talked to Dr. Hammond, and it was really crazy because we had just moved from Butler County Junior College over to Newman University in Wichita, so we had moved out to Andale, so we had just moved our entire family. And, you know, Andy was a freshman, and, you know, worried about our kids, the right time to be transitioning them, and then all of a sudden being considered moving them again 2 years in a row. That was pretty challenging, but we ended up deciding to do that, and I told him that if I lose my job at Fort Hays, I'm going to work at McDonald's, but we're not gonna move again.
You would have been a friendly guy at the window. I'm just telling you. I mean,
that's right.
You'd have been the best guy at the window at McDonald's ever, man. Do you ever drive around the Barton campus? I mean, the Fort Hays campus, and just reflect on what it used to look like and what it is today with all the facilities and what has changed over, you know, your 30 years association with Fort Hays State?
You know, not a whole lot. I've been asked that a few times, and what comes to my mind is how quickly we always talk about whenever something really cool does take place, it's like you get about, Brad Haynes always said, you get 30 seconds of fame, and then you're already into the next one, you know. So you don't really get to reflect very much, and even Annette and I have talked about that. Things are so fast, and you're constantly moving from one thing to the next thing. And so, yes, I will do that, and I have gotten glimpses of it, but I think really it's just always on to the next thing.
What are you most proud of as athletic director at Fort Hays State?
First thing that comes to my mind is our staff. I'm just been really proud of the people that I've had the opportunity to work with on a day-to-day basis. You know, just like our internal staff right now, and I'm going to say Brad Haynes, Matt Cook, Dixie Ballman, Keegan Knight, you know, Seth Kincaid and Ryan Prickett and Jan Cutright, all these people, Toby Newberger, they're right there in the front office that are are part of the everyday operations and trying to pull things together and the weekly meetings and what's going on that week and how to get everything done. And then, of course, beyond that, it's certainly our phenomenal coaches. So I've been I'm so proud of the people that I've had the chance to work with that have made it all go, because quite frankly, anything that we have accomplished is a result of having such good people around us.
How do you learn to be a good athletic director? I mean, you come in and, I'm the AD, I'm running this whole thing, and then you realize the millions of different things that you've got to do. How do you learn that?
Yeah, that's a good question. You get thrown to the fire and you go. And someone's asked me that before too. What are the qualities? But if you can get along with people and you got a strong work ethic, I think that's gonna result in success in most professions. And I think that's the main thing, is to be able to troubleshoot and work with people and in partnerships that are duly beneficial, and work through that. And that's probably the biggest part of it, to be able to get along. And there's a lot of crisis management going on, or seeing what is perceived to be a crisis pretty frequently. But I wouldn't really know how to answer that question. That's just, in my eyes, that's what's been the most important, is to stay with a strong work ethic, listen to the people that are around you that know more than you do, and then go from there.
And then the other side of it is you grew up around, sports, coaching and things like that, and then there's the times that maybe a program's not doing exactly what it needs to do, and you've got to make a very difficult decision, and that can't be fun.
By far the worst part of the job. But again, that probably translates to most professions of management or administration. And, I think a lot of times people who are critical of administrative positions haven't been in one. Because certainly, when someone loses their job, you think about the one that lost their job, but you don't spend much time thinking about the one that asked them to not have their job. And that can be very, very hard, very difficult, and certainly has been the worst thing of my profession all these years is the times that I've been involved in asking someone to step aside, because that's by far, at our level, we're a Division II level, and what people see on TV and the media with multi-year contracts and millions of dollars in contracts, and that's not what we're dealing with. We're dealing with people with kids and living month to month on salaries that are like real people. So it's a little bit different at our level when someone loses their job. It's real and it's personal, and we need to treat it that way.
Curtis Hammocky, I guess I could say outgoing. You still got till June. Great Bend native, and with us here on Sports Day today. Another thing that there's been good stability in, and I'm sure you appreciate this, is who the president of the school is, and that probably is nice in a role that you have played over the last 21 years.
Yeah, I came into this with Dr. Hammond, and also that was a long time ago. I can remember telling him, about this position at the time. Like I said, we had just moved. I said, I don't know, timing-wise, if this is a very good time for us. I hate to move our kids 2 years in a row. And he said, I'll tell you what, this job don't come open very often. I'll fly a plane out there and pick you guys up, and the kids can ride on the plane too. that was his response.
Hey, kid, you're going to get an airplane ride.
That changed everything, right? He was here through the lion's share of my career, and then of course, Tisa's done a really nice job in the last several years here, and I've enjoyed working with her as well.
And then there's a fundraising side of it. You don't have this big fat checkbook that you just go out, I think I want to put that indoor workout facility. That's good. Okay, check that. I'm going to write a check for that. The relationships you were able to build with donors and things like that's tricky to do.
It's tricky, but boy, it's been enjoyable. I've got to meet because of my job, and my title as an athletic director, so that's put me in some positions to visit with some people that I don't have any, it's just out of my league, so to speak. Okay, Steve, so I'm in the room with some people that
I don't have any business being in the room with, and then have an opportunity to get to know those people and find out just how remarkable they are and how generous they are. But that's been a really neat thing for me to learn over the years, is just to develop those relationships, and they've come into actually true friendships. You know, you think of a guy like Don Bickle, who's given millions and millions to our athletic department and other parts of the community, the hospital and all. Okay, so as you recall, the day we go down to Barton County to go into the Hall of Fame, and so we had that special day down there, but nobody in Hayes knew that, right? And so we slipped down there, and all of a sudden, here comes Don Bickle in the door. All right, now that's not just a donor relationship; that's a friend, and that's the kind of things that have materialized over the years.
Curtis Hammocky with us here on the program. I had another question, and it's slipping away here. That's why, retirement is for me right now. So go ahead.
I saw a guy this morning. We were talking about retirement, and he said he's getting to the point where he's going to hide his own Easter eggs. And I hadn't heard that one yet. I kind of like that.
Okay, so are you going to have some big agenda you're going to announce for the next guy that's with June? Oh, we're going to start this multi-million-dollar capital campaign. Here you go. Keys to
we're trying to wrap some things up, Steve. We're re-turfing the football field this spring, so we should have that done by June. We're going to cover up the old track. It's dilapidated, and so we're going to turf that whole thing. That's getting done this spring, and then, of course, we're working on the athletic complex, which is the football locker room, coaches' meetings, and the athletic training room, which is in the south end zone. And that's coming along real well right now. It's just been fun to watch that project go vertical. That's not going to actually finish till November, but I feel real good about where it's at today and how far it's moved along. So, we're still going to be here in town, and I'll get to see that when it's done. But those are the two major projects going on right now. And there's a few behind them. There's always going to be a few more coming. The indoor facility needs to be replaced turf-wise, and the track inside there. In the next 2 or 3 years, some things like that on the horizon. But, another big thing we're working on right now is just transportation. We run our own bus fleet out here because we're not close to a charter company, so we need to replace some buses, and there's just always a next item to do. So there'll be plenty to do for the next guy, but we're trying to knock out these last couple major projects here through the remainder of this year.
Curtis, I appreciate you making time for us today. And you feel blessed? I mean, you got a great wife, your family's just all doing well, and you just kind of think, man, okay, yeah, God's a pretty good dude.
He's a very good dude. He's been very, very abundantly good to us. And yes, I do feel very, very blessed, particularly with, our faith and our family and those things first and foremost. But also very blessed and grateful to Fort Hays, that's for sure.
My favorite Curtis Hammocky quote, it's always the one you use on the Hall of Fame day. This is the greatest day, this is my favorite day of the year. Well, it's going to be more favorite here in just a few when Curtis Hammocky gets inducted into the Tiger Sports Hall of Fame. Let me predict that, being a bold predictor that I am.
You're going way out on a limb there, Steve.
Curtis, I know I took you away from a meal and Tiger Club and everything else, but appreciate your time today, and we'll see you real soon.
Thank you, Steve. Take care of you and your family. Tell Dad hello.
I sure will. Curtis Hammocky joining us here on Sports Day.
Senior Doors, this is Hadley.
Hadley, what are we going to do today?
You have to work at Senior Doors. What if there's another power outage?
You're right, Hadley. People rely on us to be able to get into their houses and businesses. That is why we sell electric operators with battery backups and have been serving the community longer than anyone.
Does that mean you're getting old, Papa?
Not old, experienced.
Garage door service and repair at C&E Doors in Great Bend and Hayes.
Central and Western Kansas residents, are you looking for a new vehicle? Marmy Auto Group can make it happen. Marmy Auto Group includes Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep and Ram, Chevrolet, and GMC. Marmy Auto Group, your Central and Western Kansas dealer, has new and pre-owned vehicles, or we can special order your vehicle today. If your existing vehicle needs serviced, Marmy's award-winning service department can help. Come to Marmy Auto Group on 10th or marmys.net. Marmy's, make it happen.
When it comes to car maintenance, it's good to know a local guy that can get things done. The Eller family has been in the auto repair business in Great Bend forever. Greg Eller continues that long tradition of helping people. Eller Automotive Repair specializes in wheel alignments, oil changes, and general maintenance for all makes and models of cars and small trucks. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4 Fridays. Eller Automotive Repair at 915 Morton, right behind Great Bend Appliance, Furniture, and Sleep Source, 10th and Morton.
Some people call him Gerard. Most people just call him Grr. It's time for Tiger Talk on Sports Day with the voice of the Fort Hays State Tigers. Here's Gerard Wellbrock.
I want to emphasize that Sports Day is brought to you by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department. This is just a blip in the radar, but we're going back-to-back Fort Hays stuff today. The voice of the Tigers, Gerard Wellbrock, joins us right now.
But Curtis is a Great Bend guy.
Well, you are absolutely right. You are absolutely right, and there's so many Fort Hays fans down in this area. So, yeah, it's the University of Western Kansas. Gerard Wellbrock joining us right now. I boldly predicted on the end of the interview with Curtis Hammocky that, he always says that the Hall of Fame days is his favorite day of the year.
Uh-huh.
He's going to really enjoy that when he's the one that's going in.
Absolutely. I don't think there's any question about that.
What do you remember most about the reign of Curtis Hammocky? He came in after Tom Spicer.
Obviously, Tom had that Division II transition and facility upgrades, and then Curtis has just taken that to another level. We've seen it with the Coliseum and the seating and just all the things they've done there, the new floor, the video boards, the improvements to Lewis Field, the facility they're building now, the end zone, locker room facility. So I think that's probably the biggest legacy. But, they've had successful teams, great hires at coaches. Tony Hobson, obviously keeping Mark Johnson all these years, Chris Brown. I think that's a big part of it as well. And as you know, and anyone who knows Curtis, just a great all-around guy, and truly authentic, cares about you, and cares about Fort Hays, and cares about his coaches, cares about the student athletes. I think all of those things. He's going to be hard to replace because he's just a complete package.
Yeah, and I just remember in his early days at Barton when we went down to Texas, and we down in Midland. Yeah, but Curtis wanted to go out on this big fancy country club course and wear his tank top. They said, no, you've got to go in, you got to get a collared shirt. Well, we weren't all that rich back then. I think we all chipped in together so you get a collared shirt so we could play golf that day. But
I do remember we were in Minnesota for basketball, and we actually were at Winona State. I still feel bad. I think Mark Johnson had a team that could have won it all that year. It just didn't work out. But we were in La Crosse, Wisconsin. It was the day before the tournament started, and we went to this bar, and it was all-you-can-eat fish. It was farm-grown in Wisconsin. And Mike Barnett, who was on the finance side, was on the trip. There was a couple other people with us. We just kind of driven around the area just to look at the scenery in the countryside. And I just remember putting a major dent, and it was all you can eat. So I was like, yeah, bring more. Keep bringing it. We put a big dent into the fish that day.
Fish in Winona, Wisconsin.
Yeah,
Fresh seafood, no.
Yes.
All right. Gerard with us right now. Okay, listen, the week that was in Barton basketball. Let's start with the Lady Tigers first.
Good week. Tough road trip down in Oklahoma. Had two teams I thought played really well, Rogers State and Central Oklahoma. Rogers is steadily getting better. It's been tough for them since they've joined the league. This is probably their best team. And Fort Hays shot horribly. Rogers shot well, and they were able to hang in the game. And Coach Carr said it well. We knew if they could hang with us early, it was going to be a four-quarter, 40-minute game, and it was. Fort Hays State finally pulled away in the fourth quarter, got some separation, but had to work hard for it. And then Central Oklahoma, just 4 wins this year, but they have some talent and can really shoot the ball well. And I thought they played probably defensively better than they have probably most of the year. Again, Fort Hays State, a little cold shooting, but then kind of got things figured out, had a big big third quarter to finally get some control of that, and then another big run in the fourth quarter. Weeder and Hollenbeck both go for 20+, and DeGarmo had a double-double. The big three played really well. And at Rogers game, they were without their point guard, Brooke Levy, rolled her ankle on Wednesday, and that made a big factor. You realize she gets them a lot better looks at the basket, just with her ability to run the show at the point guard. They had to work harder on offense, and I think that's why the shooting struggle, especially early on in that game. She was back in the lineup on Saturday. I think it flowed a little bit better. So 2 big wins. You know, you're getting the time of the year. Everybody's starting to see what they have to play for, and Fort Hays State catches everybody's best effort. I thought they caught 2 of the better performances from those 2 opponents on those 2 road games.
Okay, Thursday, Saturday at Washburn, at Central Missouri. How big is this trip?
Big, huge. I mean, you look right now, it's kind of the old adage, it's not always who you play, it's when you play them. Tigers beat both of those teams by 30 when they met them way back in early December to start conference play. They are so much better now. They had a lot of new faces, both of them. Washburn didn't have their post. Their leading scorer, she's back now. They are much different teams. It's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a tough road trip. Both those teams are trending upwards, maybe playing their best basketball of the season right now. So Fort Hays State's going to have to be on their game. They have to play well. They have to shoot the ball well if they're going to come away with these 2 wins. If they want any chance to win the conference, they have to keep winning. Pitt State's still undefeated in conference play. They only play them once, and that's going to be way down the stretch, second to last week of the regular season. So Tigers need to keep winning. They're obviously going to be in the hunt to host a regional, but you got to keep winning if you want that to happen. So big games. You have to play really well to get out of there with wins.
Mark Johnson's Tigers 13-5, 6-3 in conference as they embark on this 2-game road trip. Where are the Tigers standing in the MIAA right now and the region?
You know, they're tied for second right now in the conference. So, but I mean, it's Washburn's going to win it. Washburn's number 1 in the country, and they're really good. And you know, they used the portal well. They had a great group coming back, and you just see every year they've gotten a little bit better, understand now what it takes to win at the level they're winning at. And then they bring in Jacob Hanna, Mays kid, who went to Illinois Springfield and was outstanding for them in the GLVC. Fort Hays really tried to get him, really thought they had him, and then he ends up going to Washburn. He's kind of the missing link, gives them a little more athleticism, a little bit better defensively, and they're good. I mean, Fort Hays State, can they beat them? Yes. Caleb Hambicky got hurt. He hurt he landed on his hip really hard in the game in Hays, and Fort Hays had 19 turnovers, and Washburn's going to press. They're going to trap. If you can handle that, you're going to get good looks. If you don't, it's going to be like it was, and they were down 20+ most of that game. So can the Tigers handle Washburn's trapping defense? But hopefully, if Caleb, he's healthy now, he came back from that injury, he can play the whole game, gives him a better chance. So we'll see. It's going to take a monumental effort. Tigers have to shoot the ball well and have everything go their way to have a chance of this one. Washburn, their national championship good.
Okay, Gerard Welbrock voiced the Fort Hays State Tigers with us here on the program today. Where are women ranked nationally this week?
They moved up to number 8 in the coaches poll, 22nd in the media. So a big discrepancy. Yeah, I don't. It's the SIDs who vote in the media. It's not actually the media. So they were actually out of the media poll last week. 11th in the coaches and not ranked in the media. They moved back into the media. So there's been a big gap here the last 3 or so weeks. It's funny how you lose twice by 1 point to the same team and the media writes you off, apparently. So I don't know. It is all what it is. You know how that goes.
Just need to start
eighth in the poll we use.
Start sending those guys donuts. That's a way to.
Apparently so, I guess. I'm not sure who votes for the MIAA, but obviously we've angered them.
Gerard Welbrock with us here on Sports Day today. Gerard, have a safe trip. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Steve.
All right, Gerard Welbrock, voice of the Fort Hays State Tigers, with us on Sports Day.
Step into the spotlight with Barton Community College's theater program. Whether you dream of performing on stage or creating magic behind the scenes, Barton offers hands-on training, expert guidance, and creative performance opportunities. With top-tier facilities and a supportive community, you'll develop the skills to shine. Turn your passion into a career and start your journey to the stage at Barton. Learn more at theater.bartoncccc.edu.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Sports Day is presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department. Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Sports Day brought to you in part by the Animal Medical Center in Great Bend. Large or small, they take care of them all. And Equity Bank, here when you need them. Bank local, save big with in-person banking and business banking. Visit equitybank.com for more information. Barton basketball tonight at home. And the Cougar men, they trying to stay in that hunt to maybe sneak in, get a conference title, regular season, but just stayed near the top of the ranking or of the conference standings. And they will try to do that tonight against Cloud County, who is 10-10 on the season. Barton's 10-4 in league play, 16-4 overall. Lady Cougars play first today, doubleheader, 5:30, 7:30, and the Lady Cougars have gone 4-2 since the Christmas break. That includes that 64-41 win over Garden City. So Cole Reif will have the call for you tonight on B1043 The Point. Okay, some other news of the day. Mike McCarthy's decided against coaching in 2025. He removed himself as a candidate to fill the NFL's last remaining head coaching vacancy with the New Orleans Saints. Baltimore's Lamar Jackson, Buffalo's Josh Allen, and Washington's Jaden Daniels will not be participating in the Pro Bowl games this week. The NFL announced their final rosters Tuesday. They didn't include any of those quarterbacks. New England Patriots rookie Drake May replacing Jackson on the AFC roster. Pittsburgh's Russell Wilson filling in for Allen. Tampa Bay's Baker Mayfield is filling Daniel's spot. Do you think they made a call to Patrick Mahomes? Say, hey, we weren't good enough to make the regular Pro Bowl roster, but what about this? Well, no, he's busy. He's getting ready for a Super Bowl. The Lions have agreed to hire Denver Broncos assistant John Morton as their offensive coordinator next year. So the Broncos losing one of their assistant coaches. And Scotty Scheffler figures the injury to his hand that kept him out of golf for a month could have been worse. The world's #1 player went to detail about his fateful event, making homemade ravioli on Christmas. He says he was at a rental house that didn't have the right tools, so he tried to cut the ravioli with a wine glass. It broke and shards went into his palm just below the middle finger. He practiced hard in Dallas last week to make sure he was ready for the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am for his 2025 debut. Let that be a lesson to you. If you're cutting ravioli, use a knife. Don't use a broken wine glass. Our tip of the day here on Sports Day. Back tomorrow, getting you ready for Hayes High and Great Bend as we'll talk to Kyle Cree. Talk to you then.